Alright, attempt number 2. How's it going, guys? It's Ace here, and welcome back again to another video. Today is going to be an exciting one because this is going to be my very first story time video where I tell you guys stories about stuff that's happened in my life that I deem interesting. So since this is the first video in this series, I just want to kind of preface the rest of them by saying that not all of these are going to have the same theme, because some days there might be funny stories and other days there might be sad stories and maybe a scary story occasionally. So it's just going to be very random. It's just going to be whatever I deem interesting that day and whatever I find worthy of telling a story about. So yeah, it's going to be very random. But nonetheless, I want them to be exciting stories. I don't want to tell you guys something that's boring, like me going to the laundromat or whatever, because you guys don't want to hear that. Like, it has to be something that was eventful, at least, So I'm going to try and aim for that with each video. And with this one, I think it's pretty interesting. I've been hiding this story for a little bit because I was embarrassed by it, but I think it's finally time to tell people the story because it's honestly kind of funny looking back at it now. But yeah. So I'm sure you all read the title, but in case you didn't for some reason, then this is going to be the story about the time I nearly got arrested while dressed as Jeff the Killer. Yeah, that Jeff the Killer. So yeah, I guess we're just going to jump into it. So go ahead, get you guys some snacks or something and settle down, because this is going to be a long one. Maybe. I'm going to try and aim for about 30 minutes, but I might go over that. So yeah, without further ado, let's jump into it. So this story takes place around November, maybe December-ish of 2015. I don't know the date exactly, but one of those two. And I was really into creepypasta at this time. And if you guys were on the internet at all in 2015, you know that creepypasta was at its absolute peak at this time. Like, everybody was doing something creepypasta related, and it was awesome. There were just so many iconic characters at the time, like Ben Drowned and Tiki Toby and Slenderman, and the one we're going to be talking about today, Jeff the Killer. And just as a little side tangent here, let's be honest with ourselves. We did not like these characters because of their stories, because their stories, quite frankly, sucked for the most part. There were a few that had good stories, like Tiki Toby and everything, but 90% of them sucked. We liked these characters because of their appearance and how they looked, and I was very much a part of that. But I really liked how Jeff looked. I didn't like his story at all, but I loved how he looked, and that's part of the reason why he was so iconic. Like, do you think he really would have made mainstream success had this image not existed? I don't think so, but yeah. I really liked the look of Jeff, and I think he had a lot of potential to be a cool character, so I wanted to kind of do my own stories based on Jeff. Like, not like a full-fledged story or anything, at least not yet, but I was just wanting to do like a little 6-part or so YouTube series where I dress as Jeff and I'm doing these little vlog videos. And in early 2015, around March or so, I actually did attempt to do this, and I put the makeup on and I went outside and recorded a video, and I did not like it. It actually turned out really bad. I'll put a few pictures on the screen of what that makeup looked like, and I don't know, just something about it looked really bad to me. Like, the makeup did not look that great. Like, I looked more like the Joker than anything. And the wig, don't get me started on the wig. It was very puffy and it was missing hair in a lot of places, so this was just a very half-assed attempt at a Jeff the Killer look. It was the first time I ever did one, so it did not look that great. And I actually did make a video for this, like I said. I went outside and I recorded probably like a 12-minute video where I walk around talking as Jeff, and it just really turned out shitty, and I was not satisfied with it, so I ended up scrapping that video, and I never posted it to my channel. That's why you guys are just now seeing that for the first time, because I never posted that. But yeah, that first attempt was just a dud, and I really didn't like it, so probably about July or so, I ended up moving away from that house, and I still had that little series on my mind. I still wanted to create this thing because I thought it would be fun, but I just wanted to get it right. So when I finally got settled into our new apartment and everything, I did that. I set my mind on making this thing. I didn't make it right away. It was probably a few months later, but yeah, it was probably like November or December, like I said, and I decided to try and do this little thing again. So I sat down one day and I recorded a makeup tutorial to go along with this new video, because I never did that with the old one. I just put on the makeup and then I went outside and recorded the video, and that was it. But this time around I wanted to show you guys how I actually brought the look to life. So that's what I did. I recorded a makeup tutorial, and the makeup itself wasn't anything really special. It was just a typical Jeff the Killer look, like anyone could recreate it. Like, it more so resembled the Joker, like I think I said that earlier, but, you know, it was very much basic. Like, it wasn't super in-depth. I didn't do, like, 3D or anything. I just painted a smile on my face, and that was it. But it worked for what I needed. So, yeah, I finished up the video, and I started packing my bag, and I made up my mind. I was going to go and try and recreate the initial video. So I take off the hoodie, and I put my knife and stuff in the bag and my camera, and I was ready to go. But there was only one glaring issue. You guys probably already know what it is. I was wearing the makeup still, so how was I going to get to the town or whatever, the place I was going to record at, without getting spotted? Because if somebody sees me like this, they're probably going to get a little freaked out, you know. I would be too. So, like, what was I to do? And then I had a little bit of a light bulb moment. I remember that my grandma had a very large hoodie that she had in her closet that she never really used, so I grabbed that from her closet and I put it on, and it was perfect, you know. It was pretty baggy on me, but the hood was just what I needed. So I put it on, and it probably came to about like right here on my face, and it was perfect. So I got my backpack on, had this big ass hoodie that I was wearing, and I started walking to the town. Like, I was gonna record in these alleyways and stuff. So yeah, I set off that way, and I just kept my head down like this the entire time, like occasionally looking up just to make sure I wouldn't get hit by a car or anything. But yeah, I was pretty sneaky with that, and it actually worked. No one ended up seeing me when I was on my way there, and it worked out. So it took me about 20 minutes or so to get to these buildings, and when I say buildings, like, I don't mean I was going to go inside of them or anything, even though that would have been awesome, but all the buildings in this area were somewhat abandoned and everything. Like, no one used them, and they were all boarded up, so going inside of them wouldn't have really been an option because there wasn't much lighting in there, you know. There wouldn't have been anything to light me up or really do in there, so I wasn't going to go in the buildings. So I was just going to walk around these alleyways and this little dead-end road behind them and just do my video there. So that's what I did. Maybe I should explain the layout just a little bit so you guys won't be confused. So, like, there's the main road here, and there's these buildings on each side of the main road. And there's, like, this little side road here that led to, like, some other neighborhoods and stuff, and there was a dead-end road, like, sandwiching the buildings there. So I was on this little back road here in these alleyways between the building and whatnot. So that kind of sets the scene a little bit. Hopefully that was a good representation of it. So yeah, I get there and I take out my stuff, I put on my costume, and I begin recording, and everything is going well for about 15 minutes or so. I don't remember exactly what I was going to say in the video, but I think I had Jeff say like he had just got done killing a girl or something, and now he feels like he's being stalked, because I was going to have Slender Man in this series eventually. But yeah, yeah, I think that's what I said. I don't know, but the synopsis of that wasn't important. But yeah, it was about 15 minutes or so of me recording as Jeff, just walking around these alleyways and stuff, and being all creepy with my knife and everything. And about 15 minutes later, I started hearing voices, which was kind of concerning because this is a dead-end road, you know. Nobody is supposed to be coming down this way. So I hear these voices, and I see through the alleyway, like, there's these people coming out, and I'm like, oh shit. So I just kind of ball up and sit still so they won't see me, because I'm already sitting on the ground. So, like, if I move, they're going to definitely notice me. But, you know, I guess it was kind of like a T-Rex moment, you know. If I ball up and sit still, they won't notice. So I'm watching these people come out of this alleyway, and lo and behold, it's some kids that I went to school with. None that were in my grade personally, but they were like a few grades lower than me and everything, and they rode my school bus, so it made sense to why they were in the area. But, you know, it's just very unfortunate timing. There was like a group of like 5 or 6 of them or something, and they were all little jerks. Like, I could not stand these kids. They were always trying to pick on me because, you know, I dressed a little emo and stuff. I was just getting into my alternative phase at this time, so, you know, I was prime pickings for the pickings, I guess. If you guys have ever lived in a ghetto area, like, you know, getting bullied normally sucks, but getting bullied by little ghetto children is much worse. Like, they will hurt your feelings if they really want to, and they most certainly did to me a lot of times. These kids also knew that I was a YouTuber a little bit and that I did scary stuff, so when they saw me just sitting there balled up, they knew it was me. Like, who else would be out here doing weird shit like this? So they see me and they start like asking me questions like, "Hey, emo boy, what you doing? You dressed up all scary." And I'm just kind of trying to ignore them. Like, I really just want them to go away. Like, I knew if they did see me that they would start talking to me, but I was just really hoping that they would just get the message and walk on about their day. But they didn't. They kept trying to press me and ask questions. They were like, "You doing that for a YouTube video? What you doing?" Like, just asking me so many questions, and I just kept ignoring them. You know, I was trying to keep my cool. I didn't want them to bother me because the camera's still rolling at this point. So, you know, I'm catching all this on camera, and I'm just really getting impatient. I want them to go away. So I guess me not answering them kind of made them upset, so they started being a little aggressive, I guess, and insulting me. They were like, "Hey, gay boy, why aren't you talking?" And I heard one of them say, like, faggot or something like that. I didn't hear exactly what it was, but I heard the word faggot most certainly. You know, when you dress alternative, those kind of words tend to get thrown around a lot, and they were most certainly using them. So I'm still sitting there on the ground, and I'm not responding to them because I just want them to go away so I can do my video in peace. And I guess me ignoring them kind of made them angry, so they amped it up another level, and they started throwing rocks at me. None of them hit me, at least at first, you know, like I kept like moving side to side because I could see them coming my way, until they all started like throwing them in unison, and it was kind of hard to like dodge them at that point. Still hurling insults as well and everything, so, you know, this is all just kind of cultivating in my mind, like I'm really just trying to keep my cool here, just go the fuck away so I could do my video. Until one of them actually hits me, and I didn't quite notice it till the last minute, but I saw this huge white rock flying and it hits me right in the side of my fucking throat. And I'm gonna be honest, I got a little angry, so they got what they wanted. I responded, so it probably wasn't the best decision, but I decided to get my knife that I was using to cosplay as Jeff and chase them away, you know, give them a little scare, because they obviously want something from me, so I gave it to them. I got my knife and I ran up and I started charging. Like, I wasn't gonna hurt them or anything, I just wanted to scare them away, and it most certainly worked. Like, they all took off different directions, screaming for their life, and it was so liberating doing that. It was honestly hilarious. The camera's still rolling too, like I caught all of this on camera, and it was just so funny. So after I got done chasing them, I went back to the spot where I was sitting and I continued to do my video, and it probably took me another 10 minutes or so, and I finally finished it, and I just did a little preview of the footage, and I was satisfied with it. So, you know, I started wrapping up. I went over to my backpack, which I had hidden like between these buildings like I mentioned. I'm surprised they didn't see my backpack actually, because it was like right there in their path where they were walking, but I guess it was kind of dark. But, you know, I went over to grab my backpack and everything, and I'm putting my camera in there, and then I start hearing a car just like slow rolling. Like, this is a dead-end road, by the way, and like on the other side of the buildings is the main road, and I hear the car on the main road slow rolling, and I'm like, that's not normal. What are they doing so late at night? And I'm just kind of sitting still because they could see me if they were to look, but if they're driving normal speed, then they wouldn't have a chance of seeing me. But this car was going kind of slow, so I was just kind of trying to sit still so they wouldn't notice me. And then I hear the car turn left, and I'm like, uh-oh, so I'm just really trying to sit still, and then I hear it take another left onto the dead-end road, and I'm like, no! And then it was like I died and saw the pearly gates of heaven, because this was a cop car with a fucking spotlight, and he was shining it directly onto me, and it was so bright, like the brightest thing I've ever fucking seen in my life. And then he started flicking on the red and blues, and I was just frozen there, like I didn't know what to do. I honestly thought about running a little bit, but I knew that would be stupid because, you know, those kids knew where I lived, they knew where I went to school and everything, so, that wouldn't have been the best idea in this moment. So I'm just sitting there frozen in place, and this cop still has his fucking light beaming on me, and I got my backpack in my hand, kind of crouched over, and he finally rolls up to me, and he rolls his window down, and he's like, "Hey man, you need to get over here right now. I need to have a conversation with you." And I'm like, all right. So I walk up to his car, and he turns it around and everything. He gets out, and he has his fucking hand on his taser like he's about to shock my ass, so I'm kind of scared at this moment. So he walks up, and he's like, "Man, what are you doing out here? It ain't Halloween no more." And I'm like, I know, it looks bad. And he's like, "Yeah, it does. You know why I'm here, don't you?" And I'm like, "Probably because I look a little scary." And he's like, "Well, that's part of it, but you don't remember chasing some kids with a knife like 10 minutes ago?" And then it clicks in my mind, and I'm like, oh my god, they snitched on me. So I respond to him, and I'm like, "Yeah, I remember, but can I explain to you what happened?" And he's like, "Yeah, you can explain, but I need the knife first." So I tell him it's in my bag, and I hand it over to him, and he takes it out, and he sets it over on this barrel that's like right next to the building where we are. So yeah, he does that, and he walks over to me, and he's like, "All right, so start explaining." And I'm like, "Okay." So I'm dressed up as this horror character, and I'm out here trying to do like a vlog style video because that's what the character does. He didn't know that, but So I tell him that, and then I say, in the middle of my recording, these kids came through the alleyway. They saw me because they knew me from school and everything, and they started throwing rocks at me and insulting me and whatnot. So I responded by chasing them with the knife to get them away so I could finish up the video and everything. And he just seemed very unimpressed with me. Like, he was just so disappointed, and he was like, "Okay, so you're doing this for a YouTube video?" And I'm like, "Yes, sir." And he's like, "Okay, so you recorded these kids throwing the rocks at you or whatever, and you recorded yourself chasing them with the knife." And I'm like, "I caught it on camera, but I wasn't intending to come out here to do that and everything." And he's like, "Okay, can you show that to me?" So I'm like, "Yes, sir, but my camera's in my bag." So he's like, "Okay, you don't got no other sharp objects in there, do you?" So I'm like, "No, sir." And he's like, "Okay, get it out." So go in there, grab my camera, and have to fast forward through like 15 minutes worth of footage or whatever, however long it was. And I finally get to the part, and you can hear the kids in the background. Like, you can't hear exactly what they're saying, but you can hear the aggressive tone in their voice and everything. And then you can hear the rocks hitting the background behind me and everything. And then I get up and I start chasing them with the knife and everything. And by the end of it, he still didn't seem impressed, but he kind of saw my point of view then. And he was like, "Okay, I see what you're talking about, but you know that wasn't the right thing to do, right?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I know. I could have handled it a little better." And he was like, "Yeah, you could have. What if one of these little kids ran home to their parents and then they came over here and shot you? You think I want to respond to that?" And I was just like, "No." And he was like, "Exactly. Like, you got talent, man. You're doing this whole, like, scary thing. Like, it looks good. You don't want to waste that out here getting shot because of something stupid." And I'm like, "I know. I didn't want it to go down this way, but it's just what I did." And he's like, "Yeah, you need to make better decisions." And I'm like, I know. Like, he's pretty much lecturing me. So then he gets to the question. He's like, "Have you ever been in a cop car before?" And I get nervous, and I'm like, no. And he was like, "Do you want to be in one?" And I'm like, "No." "Well, I should be putting you in there right now." And I'm like, "Please don't." And then he's like, "Okay, man, well, look, I'll make a deal with you." Meow. He's like, "I'll make a deal with you. You delete everything that you recorded on your camera tonight, and I'll let you go." And I'm like, "Everything?" And he's like, "Everything." And I tried to explain to him that I did the makeup tutorial earlier that night, but he wasn't hearing any of it. He wanted it all gone. Like, if it was connected to this whole event, he wanted it gone. So, unfortunately, that's what I had to do. I grabbed my camera, I deleted everything in front of him because he wanted to see it, and that was that. So, he was like, "Okay, well, deal's a deal. I want you to make better decisions in life, man. I don't want to see you out here anymore." And I was like, "Okay, I promise I won't be out here." And then he's like, "Do these videos in your bedroom, man. Don't make me come out here having to arrest you again," and just stuff like that. And he's just basically lecturing me, trying to make me learn my lesson and everything, and very rightfully so. Like, I deserved it and everything. But yeah, so he finally lets me go. He's like, alright, well, I see you got a bike over there. I'm not going to make you ride with me or anything. So I grab my backpack and he lets me go. And I go over to my bike and everything. And as I was walking over there, I actually noticed something. He forgot to grab my knife that he set on the barrel over there. And I was just like, is he going back for it? What's he doing? And he gets in his car and, he sits there for like another 30 seconds or so. And I'm walking with my bike back that direction because, he's right there about to pull out to the main road again. And I actually recorded a video with my phone at the time. And here's that video right now. Just gotta go. He left the knife over there though, so I don't know if he forgot or what. He leaves it over there. Come back for it. So I made that video and then I got on my bike and I rode past him and I turned left on the main road and I looked back and he turned right on the main road. So he was going the complete opposite direction of me. And I just kept going and everything so he wouldn't think anything. And then I looked back and he was at the red light and he turned right. So he was going somewhere completely different. So while I had a free moment, I turned around and I went and got my knife back. And I still have it to this day. I was so happy to get this thing back because he'd already made me delete my videos. At least I could keep this, have an artifact of that night. And I still have it to this day. So yeah, I got my knife back. I guess he forgot about it or something. I guess he was more concerned with giving me a life lesson than anything, which, I give him that. I deserved it. But yeah, I ended up getting my knife back and I learned an important lesson. If you're going to chase somebody with a knife, actually make sure you kill them. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, that was basically it. I went home that night. I did not tell my grandma or my friends or anybody about this incident because I was honestly embarrassed about it. And I really wish I knew about programs like Disc Drill back then because if that existed, well, it probably did exist, I just didn't know about it. But if I would have known about that, I could have saved the videos, but I didn't know about them. And that was one of the only 2 SD cards that I had, so, I of course recorded over it after so many years, and it was just got to the point where it was unrecoverable, so nothing from that night was able to be salvaged except for that one video that you guys saw, and I'm thankful that I was able to record that in that short time that I had to record. But yeah, that's basically it. I learned an important lesson, and hopefully, well, I don't really know what you guys could learn from it, but yeah, just don't chase people with knives, I guess. So yeah, that is the story about the time I nearly got arrested while dressed as Jeff the Killer. That night could have went so much worse, but I'm so glad it went the way it did. It could have been way worse. I just wish I could have gotten my videos back. That's the only thing. I'm still angry about that, but, at least I don't have a record. So yeah, I don't really know what else to say. Maybe you guys could, comment some topics, and if I have any stories relating to those topics, maybe I'll tell them. But yeah. Other than that, I guess I'm going to end the video here. So I hope you have all enjoyed. Please leave a comment down below. Hit that like button, and if you're not already, please subscribe. And also hit that little notification bell to be alerted whenever I upload. Hope you liked the video, and I'll see you all in the next one. This is Ace.